Hello. My review is Finders Keepers. Um, yeah, anyway, so I just finished my last mini review of Mr. Mercedes. And I'm calling these mini reviews because, like a book review is kind of like you're explaining the details of the story, and I'm not doing any of that. If I did a book review, I'd be telling you all about each and every single character and like their character arc or whatever, or what I liked and didn't like about the characters and all that. But I'm just giving it to you straight and just saying a few things I like about a book, and boom. I mean, I'm not like the most brainiac when it comes to reading. I don't really read a lot of books, but anyway, this book Finders Keepers, I found it interesting because it took a different route than the first book, Mr. Mercedes, which focused on a killer, a kind of serial killer who, he started off his trade, I guess you could say, by running over people with his Mercedes, and did a few more kills. And in this story, it could be called like a Peter Saubers tale, because it involves a character named Peter Saubers and his family, who were survivors of this attack that occurred with the Mercedes-Benz. It all involves writing, which is interesting coming from someone like Stephen King, who now is up there, in the Barnes & Noble section. You can see a drawing of Stephen King with all these other famous authors, Mark Twain, and his image is hanging up there with all of them. And this story involves stolen manuscripts and a real crazy, deranged lunatic who is obsessed with writing in this book. And he's kind of like a literature snob. And it's something that occurs to a lot of people. Like they get a little crazy, and I've gone a little crazy too about books and writing. I am not really a true writer in the sense that I write a lot of work, but I have written 3 screenplays, and which I am hoping to try and sell or have made into movies, but haven't had any luck there yet. But so writing is something that it's cool to learn about. But truth be told, this book Finders Keepers, it didn't do it for me the same way that Mr. Mercedes did. It was a good story. It's a good book. I'm glad it exists, because it gives you a brief break from the darkness of the first book. And this book is really dark too, but it's just, don't get me wrong, it's just as dark, but it is a nice break from the kind of grimness of the first book and the real evil character, because there's another wicked character in this book that's kind of like just obsessed and kind of a buffoon. But it is good to get breathing room from the first book, because it was pretty intense. But at the same time, Finders Keepers doesn't have as much humor. It was written with a different writing style, which I'm actually pretty happy about. I think it's cool. It's like a fresh breath of air. So. And I read on like Amazon, and a lot of people like this book more maybe than Mr. Mercedes or any of the other books. They liked it a lot, and I actually liked it a lot too. But by the end of it, I was really happy to be looking forward to the third book, which is End of Watch. So that concludes my review of Finders Keepers. I mean, it's a good book, and if you do find this somewhere, this real cool cover with blood dripping down it. These are the blood covers, but there also might be a cover of the book with a tree on it. And if you see it somewhere, make sure you've read Mr. Mercedes first. So put it on your list. And then read Mr. Mercedes, then read Finders Keepers. And it'll be a good book. And then Finders Keepers will lead to the next book, which is End of Watch. Well, thank you for watching this.